What is happening, everybody? John Muller here. You are very, very welcome to this week's episode of More Sales Every Single Day Like Clockwork. On behalf of myself, Todd, and all the MFA team, you are very, very welcome. Today is not only a special day because it's Thursday, and that means I get to go live with you cool people, but there's also we are actually going live with something else as well today, which is really exciting. The E5 book is going live today. And to celebrate, I will be giving away a copy of this incredible book. Jason, you're very welcome. David, you're very welcome. Anybody else who's watching us, you let us know in the comments where you're coming from. You are very welcome as well. But like I mentioned, today is a very special day because we are going live with this absolute gem of a book. I mean, I'm so excited to get this live. We've been working like crazy the last while to get things organized for it, but we are going live with it today, and we know it's going to help so many people. It's going to change so many lives and change so many businesses and give people back control, give people back the confidence in their marketing again, which is something that we're very excited about. But anyways, that aside, we can talk about the book later on, but we've got a jam-packed show for you tonight in terms of what we're going to be covering. We're going to be diving into more golden lessons from Todd's 2 decades plus in the world of direct response marketing, and it's going to be jam-packed, and we've lots to share, and I'm really excited to get going with that. But before we kick things off, I kind of want to set the stage, because if you've seen previous a couple of episodes back, we talked about some more golden lessons, but the golden lessons today that we're talking about, they're really topical right now, and they're really relevant right now, because the 4 or 5 golden lessons I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, and specifically they're the things you should be focusing on in your marketing, that you should be focusing on in your business to bring your business forward. But a lot of people seem to not neglect them, but just kind of gloss over them, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I know that's fine, I know I have to do that, but I'm too busy doing this, so I'm going to do this, I'm going to focus on this because I know I should do that, but it's not important right now. But the reality is, what I'm about to share with you is very, very important, and focusing on these core activities. There's a couple of activities in particular that I want you to, when we dive into them, that I'll be sharing with you, and that Todd will be sharing with you, that if you focus on these core activities, everything else takes care of itself. Everything else, it just falls down like dominoes. So when we're going through these golden lessons, I want you to think about them and look at them and think about how actively are you in terms of keeping your eye on the focus of these golden lessons, because these are the things that will really move the needle in your business. And if you get these components humming, everything else will just fall into place. Martin Fallon just said, sorry, just joined. Did the book come out? Yes, the book is actually, we are going live with the book today. Today, it's actually going live today. We were just fine-tuning. I just have to drop in a whole bunch of them there, which is great. But yes, we are going live with the book today. Teddy has been busy sewing up the tech side of things and make sure everything is working from a tech point of view. And we've got the whole campaign ready to go, and we will be going live with that later on, and we're going to be setting up some campaigns to really get this book into as many people as possible. So I will keep you posted on that. But for now, let's kick off tonight's show with the 4 more golden lessons from Todd's 2 decades plus in the world of direct response marketing. And we're back, and I picked up those books. There we are. We're back. Yes. Just dropped those books with excitement. I'm just too damn excited that I'm all over the place. But yes, my name is John Muller. I'm the Director of Marketing for Todd Brown, and you're very welcome to this week's episode of More Sales Every Single Day, where we are diving into 4 more golden lessons from Todd's 2 decades plus in the world of direct response marketing. And like I mentioned, if you're just joining us now, is that these lessons I'm sharing with you tonight, these are the components of your business that you should be focusing on. These are the components that really are the big levers that you should be pulling in your business, because they are what moves every other component of your business. And if you get these parts humming, everything else just falls into place. And with that being said, as we're going through these lessons, if you do have any questions on anything, or if you want clarification on anything afterwards, we're going to have a little bit of a Q&A. And then I'm going to give away I'm actually going to give away some copies of our brand new E5 Method book. So if you hear this sound after our Q&A, make sure you're ready. Make sure you're ready to get typing, because we're going to be. I'm actually going to be giving away a couple of copies, just as a celebration for doing all this. And there'll be a couple of things that you need to do. But once you take action on those things, we'll be diving in. For now, let's dive into the four more golden lessons from Todd's epic 2 decades in direct response marketing.
Golden marketing lesson number 5, which is what we really just talked about 2 moments ago, and that's offer engineering. It's kind of funny, and just like I've said, or maybe I didn't share it with you guys and gals, that there's one thing that's been written. I have a whiteboard. I have one whiteboard to the right of my desk that I can see right off to the right, that I can see, that I'm out of the corner of my eye. I can see it when I'm working on the computer in my home office. And there's one thing, and one thing only that's been on that whiteboard now for, I don't even know, 2 years or something like that now. Other things have come and gone and have been erased, right? New things have been put on there, old things have been erased, except there's one thing that has not been erased since it's been on there, and I leave it there as a constant reminder. And this is what it says. In the upper left-hand corner of the whiteboard, it says, focus on crafting killer offers. Focus on crafting killer offers. If you really thought about it like your job is to come up with great ideas, and your job is to come up with great offers, right? And then now how to fill in the in-between. The in-between is the marketing argument. The in-between is not selling. The in-between is cool education about a unique, you're going to be unstoppable. You are going to be ferocious. And so nothing else that needs to be said here. Golden marketing lesson number 6 is this. And this is one of those things that over the 15 years that I've been doing this, I've seen trends in how this topic has been taught. Here's the lesson, and then I'll explain what I mean. The lesson is this, that the front end of your business, the front end marketing campaign or campaigns in your business, the front end, the customer acquisition in your business is what provides your business with consistency and stability. It's where the stability in your business comes from. It's where the consistency comes from. It's where the reliability comes from. What I mean by that is that the back end is where the profit comes from in your business. But the front end is where the stability, the reliability, like the constancy of growth, of performance, of thriving comes from your business. Now what often gets taught, and sometimes it's been, over the past 15 years, I've seen some people kind of teach it aggressive. Like there have been times where it's been really taught aggressively, and then other times it's kind of taken a back seat. And that oftentimes you'll hear this idea that the money is in the back end. The money is in the back end in your business. The money is in your back end. Don't focus solely on, on front end. You're so focused on front end. You need to be focused on back end, right? That's where the money is. And what happens is that while it's true that the profit is on the back end, in a business, the money that you're going to bank and take home is on the back end, is the second transaction, the third transaction, the fourth transaction, the fifth transaction, right? It's linked to lifetime customer value, right? But it's the front end that ensures that you don't go out of business, that ensures that, right, your business doesn't shrink, ensures that your membership, your continuity, your newsletter doesn't have like an attrition that causes a dwindling of your business. The growth comes from the front end. And every time I have seen entrepreneurs take their eye off of the front end and solely put it on the back end, I've seen their business shrink. At no point, there is a point in time when you should be focusing on just the front end, right? But there's never a time when you should just be focusing on the back end. Let me say that again. There is a time when you should only be focused on the front end. That time is if you're just launching a new business. If you're just launching a new business, you don't worry about the back end until you've got the front end taken care of, until you've got at least one E5 campaign that's bringing you new customers, right, at least break even. Right? Until you've got that, nothing else matters, right? And that's just as a side note, right? That's another one of those kind of big lessons. I don't know if I'd call it a golden marketing lesson, but the big lesson is that until you've got your front end nailed, until you have at least one campaign that allows you to acquire new customers at break even or better initially, nothing else matters. Doesn't matter what kind of desk chair you have, what kind of desk you buy, what your logo looks like, right? Like none of that matters, right? Because you need it. Without a way to acquire new customers, you do not have a business. And so, but right initially, your job is to focus on the front end, right? And you don't roll out the back end. You don't implement a back end promotion right out of the gate. You don't try, like, you wait until you have a critical mass, whatever that means for your particular business model, right? And every business is different. But then you roll out the back end. And at no point do you ever take your eye off the front end. Your focus might shift and might go, 50-50 front end, back end. It might even go maybe at some point 80-20, 80% on the back, 20% on the front. I would say that that's a rarity, that most of the time you're going to continue to just focus your attention on the front and split your attention or a portion of your attention on the back. And for most of you, I would say that for the foreseeable future, you'll be focusing, call it 70% of your focus on the front and 30% on the back. Like 70% on the front, 30% on the back, because the front is where the consistency and stability in your business comes from. It's also, as you know, the most difficult part of any business. It's the most difficult area. And that's why you want to give if you hired a marketer, like if your best people, your most talented people, if you and anybody that you hire should always be working on the front end. Right? Because that's where the talent is needed. That's the most difficult part. The back end is the easy part of the business, right? Because you have a relationship, you have trust, you've already delivered the goods. There's no costs associated, or there's insignificant costs compared to the front end. And so it doesn't require on the back end nearly what it does on the front end. So front end, man, is consistency and stability. Back end is profit. Put your best effort, your best time, your best focus into the front end. With that, let's go on to golden marketing lesson number 7. I'm going to take a drink. And here it is. And this is simple because you've heard me say it before, that front end is all about maximum customer acquisition, right? This was one of those early shifts for me that, shifting from the typical mom and pop mindset, right? Shifting from a transactional mindset, right? That not every transaction in your business has the same purpose, right? The goal of the front end, the goal of all the marketing that you're doing via cold traffic, right? Cold traffic is all about acquisition. It's all about customer acquisition, right? And the goal of your front end campaigns, your customer acquiring campaigns, right? Your E5 campaigns is to get the maximum number of new customers. So I don't look at I don't care about the profit on the front. You've heard me say that before. You know that already, right? It's not to generate a profit, right? At a bare minimum, your goal should be invest 1,000, get 1,000 back. Right? You should never be looking to invest 1,000 in traffic and get back 2,000. All those people that talk about, I spent $100 and I made back 350. What that means is that they just left a tremendous number of new customers on the table. And your goal should be to increase the amount that you are investing to get more customers. If I could have spent, if I spent 100 and I made back 350, even if I could have spent that 350 and instead of getting 10 customers, I could have gotten 14 customers, but I made no money, I would do that all day, every day, because I understand that we are operating like investors and we are acquiring assets that appreciate in value over time, because I know there's going to be a second transaction, a third transaction, maybe even a fourth transaction or a fifth transaction, right? And so there's greater value. So it's all about maximum customer acquisition on the front end, not trying to generate a profit on the front end. Kind of funny, my buddy Clayton Makepeace, many of you have heard me talk about Clayton before. He's the highest paid living or active copywriter today. The guy has generated something like $23 million in royalties. Royalties, not sales, royalties. He's generated over $1 million a year for over 20 years straight in royalties. And he actually said to me, somewhat joking, but there was a lesson in it. He said that you could be on his team, and if you ran a marketing campaign, like if you rented a list and you spent $50,000 and you made back $50,000, right? You broke even, that you wouldn't get fired. He said you could spend $50,000 on a marketing campaign and make back $40,000, and you wouldn't get fired. He said, but if you spent $50,000 on a marketing campaign and you made back $60,000 or $70,000, you could get fired, because that means that you just wasted an enormous opportunity to get more customers. You left customers on the table, because the name of the game is maximum customer acquisition on the front end. The next lesson, golden marketing lesson number 8, is that the speed at which you grow your business, and really the size that you grow your business to, but certainly the speed, is determined by your level of acquisition aggression. It's determined by how aggressive you're willing to be with what it is that you're willing to invest to get a new customer. Right? And you've heard me say before, and you're going to hear it when I talk about in module 8 of the EE5 Camp Masterclass, your maximum allowable acquisition cost, right? We're going to kind of get deeper into that. Maximum allowable acquisition cost is what is the maximum amount of money that you are willing to invest to get a new customer. Regardless of what it is that customer spends with you today, right, on day 0, if you will, their first transaction, what is the maximum amount that you are willing to spend? If a customer spends $50 with you on average, day 0, the first day, are you willing to spend 60 to get that customer? Are you willing to spend 70? Are you willing to spend 100? Are you willing to spend 200? Are you willing to spend 500? Right? Obviously, the answer is different for every business, and there is really, there's no one blanket right or wrong answer, because the economics of every business and the metrics of every business, right, like the lifetime customer value and the number of transactions and the speed of those transactions, all of those things play a role in what should be your maximum allowable acquisition cost. But I can tell you that the thing that 99 out of 100 marketers, entrepreneurs that I've had the opportunity to coach and guide, they are nowhere near as aggressive as they should be in terms of what it is that they are spending or investing to get a new customer. First and foremost, most marketers, most entrepreneurs are, I shouldn't say most, well, many, the majority are lazy in that they're not even tracking what their acquisition costs are. They don't even know what it's costing them right now to acquire a customer. Many don't even have a target number of what should they be willing to spend to acquire a customer. Like, is it okay if they spent $100? Is it okay if they spend $200 to get a customer? Is it okay if they spend $300? Right? They make these weird arbitrary decisions based on what it is that they should pay per click, or what it is that's expensive, or what it is that's cheap. The reality is that this is a game that is driven by psychology, communication, and arithmetic. One of those numbers, right? One of those numbers is, what is the maximum allowable acquisition cost? You have to determine that. And I can tell you that the more aggressive that you are willing to be, right? The more aggressive you are willing to be there within reason, the faster and bigger you are going to grow your company. If you want to grow your business quickly, you need to become more aggressive with your allowable acquisition cost, right? And so certainly I could tell you, like I already said it, and I'll leave you with this. If you go up against an entrepreneur who is looking to generate a profit on the front end, If every single thing else is equal in your business, your prices, your margins, right, your expense, like everything else is the same, except your competitor wants to generate a profit every transaction, and you are willing to break even on the front end, you will outgrow them. You'll grow faster than them, and you will eventually grow bigger than them simply by your willingness to be more aggressive with what it is that you're willing to invest to acquire a new customer.
So there you go, 4 more golden lessons from Todd. And like I mentioned at the very, very beginning, these lessons, they're so relevant right now because there's lots of activities we should be focusing on in marketing. There's lots of things we can be doing. There's lots of things that other people are telling us we should be doing. And there's so many different social networks. There's so many different platforms. And there's so many things we can be doing. But if you focus on the right activities, you focus on the right components of your marketing, the right components of growing your business, everything else falls into place. If you focus more on, like Todd mentioned, he has it on his whiteboard, focusing on coming up with killer offers. If you have coming out with killer offers, that's going to help you. That's going to help take care of everything else. If you're focusing on front end and knowing and understanding that the front end is all about maximum customer acquisition and being aggressive enough with your spending that you're willing to outspend your competitors you're not looking to make a profit on the front end, well then you can win this game. You can win this game because so many others are not going to be willing to do what you're willing to do. Dogs are jumping around the place back there. So if we have any questions on this, let me know. But the 2 main takeaways that I want you to take away from Todd's golden lessons there are, first of all, focusing on coming up with killer offers, and then secondly, understanding and be aware that the front end is all about maximum customer acquisition. Oh, what's that sound? Oh, we know what that sound is. That sound means someone is going to advanced copy of Todd's brand new book, The E5 Method. Now, this book is jam-packed. I mean, if I could flick through pretty quickly there, I mean, this book is absolutely packed to the max with information and details of Todd's E5 method, which is by far the single greatest front-end customer acquisition marketing method available out there today. And someone is going, and speaking of a killer offer, as David mentioned, the offer that we have put together for the E5 method, I truly believe it is one of the most killer offers I've ever seen. And I brought some people through the actual campaign that we have for it yesterday, and they were blown away by it. But all that being said, someone is going to win a free copy of the E5 method right here, right now, because this sound. So, first person that likes this video and shares it and gives lots of thumbs up and hearts and all that stuff, then comes back in here and comments that they've shared it, and will get a free copy of the book. So get sharing, get liking, and someone will win a free copy of the E5 method. So who wants it? All you have to do is just take action. Give me thumbs up, give me hearts, like it, and then share it, and then come back here, leave a comment, let me know you've done so, and then we will winner chicken dinner. David, you've already got your copy, so we'll have to give it to someone else. Who else wants to do it? David's already got a copy, so we're going to have to give it to someone else. Of course David was going, yeah, that was too easy. Of course David will win. Shared, liked. Come on, guys. And to give you a sneak peek, I mean, we should be going live very, very shortly with the book, but for anybody who wants to take a quick sneak peek at the book, if you go to toddsfreebook.com, you can see it. And if you want to pick up your free copy there, everybody can get a free copy. You just pay shipping and handling. You can head on over to toddsfreebook.com. You should be able to check it out there. You'll see that it is a crazy killer offer. You'll see how crazy it is. And you'll see that it's just irresistible. And we're going to be using this as as one of our main front-end acquisition vehicles, and you'll see how we've structured it and everything else. And maybe in the future I'll do a bit of a deep dive into how we've structured the funnel and everything else, and why we structured certain components the way we did on a sales page and everything else. But for now, I want to bring us back to those 4 golden lessons. So there we go. Jason has shared it as well. So Jason, I'm going to make sure you get your copy. If you send me an email, Jason, I think you send me an email. Go John at marketing funnel automation.com. Just took my email in the comments there, Jason. If you just send me an email and I'll reply back to you and I'll get you that advanced PDF copy. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. So yeah, like what we were saying, I want to bring it back to what I was talking about. Go back to the golden lessons. So basically, the golden lessons, the key takeaways I want you to get from the golden lessons this week is that, first of all, focusing coming up on killer offers. And like Todd talks about so often, is that when people get to the offer creation stage, they kind of just put 15 minutes thought into it. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's going to be a 30-day program. There's going to be X, Y, and Z in it. There's going to be a guarantee. We'll give them a Facebook group and blah, 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 blah. And that's it. But that's not a killer offer. I mean, that's not a superior, irresistible, no-brainer offer. And to put together an offer, there's a process to go through, and that starts with looking at what your competitors are currently offering, looking at the gaps in the marketplace, looking at something, what could you give to the market that would just make them go absolutely wild and make them jump over each other to get their hands on your offer. Now, that's what a killer offer is. And it doesn't just happen overnight. So if you focus more on creating killer offers, and we have our offer bundle that can help you put that together if you want to find out more about it. But regardless of that, I mean, there's not enough killer offers out there. I mean, so many offers are kind of plain Jane offers, vanilla offers, and some are quite good, but they're very samey. They're just like every other offer out there. And if your offer is like every other offer out there, how can your prospects, how can your target market, how can your most ideal clients or customers decide who they're going to go to? And if they can't decide, they'll default to someone that was maybe recommended to them. They'll default based on price. But we want that's not what we want for you. We want you to be able to go out there, create sin offers, create superior, irresistible, no-brainer offers. And that's what Todd means when he says by killer offer. And the second big takeaway I want you to get is that your front end is all about maximum customer acquisition. If you can acquire, as Todd calls it, and I think Michael Masterson called it, this critical mass of front end customers, front end acquisition customers, you can acquire a critical mass of them with 1 or 2 front end products. Everything else takes care of itself. You can have a back end program that's where, like Todd mentioned, that's where your profit is going to be made. That's where the bank is going to be made in your business. But if you focus on creating a killer offer, that's a killer front-end offer that you use to generate as a vehicle to generate maximum customer acquisition, everything else that you do in your business will just fall into place. I mean, take for example, look what Russell did with ClickFunnels. Now, ClickFunnels is what now? God knows what it's worth. It's probably like a 300, 400, 500 million business at the minute. I don't even know what it's worth. But essentially, he built ClickFunnels by creating killer front-end acquisition offers. His front-end acquisition offer wasn't ClickFunnels. His front-end acquisition offers was .com secrets, expert secrets. Now, he had the 108 split test winners. All those were killer front-end acquisition offers, and they all fed into ClickFunnels. You buy the book, you start to build out a funnel, you're like, oh, okay, well, and then you get a free trial of ClickFunnels, and ClickFunnels was where his back-end profit was made, but his front-end acquisition, like Russell was happy to go into the red and spend 10 grand on a front end acquisition campaign to generate, who knows, generate 1,000 buyers or 500 buyers, whatever the case is, and he's willing to do that because he knows out of a certain percentage out of those 500 front end buyers, we're going to ascend in or continue using ClickFunnels or ascend into one of his coaching programs. And it's the exact same thing with all of the biggest companies out there. They use front end vehicles to drive their most ideal clients and customers into their back-end programs. So think about your front-end acquisition. Think about it as a vehicle bringing your most ideal customers where you want them to bring them to. And that's really all I have for you this week in terms of the golden lessons that I wanted to share from Todd. Hopefully it was helpful to you. If it was and you want our help in actually implementing this type of marketing in your business, you can head on over to learnfromtodd.com. You can book a call with one of our E5 strategists. We'll walk you through how we're currently helping our clients or students through the E5 campaign process, and we'll share with you how you can get our help and actually implement it in your business so you can get the results in the fastest time possible. With that being said, thank you so much for joining us. And to close things off, I'm just going to recap those two things again. Focus on creating more killer offers, and remember that your front end is all about maximum customer acquisition. So from me, John Mullery, from Todd, from all of us at MFA, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you very, very soon.
Yes, we teach marketing, but what we really do is change lives. That's the business we're really in. We just happen to do it through marketing education.
Like, people ask me all the time, they say, well, why don't you just go out and sell some widget, man? Like, and look, I can. There's no doubt. But what excites me more is to know that I get the good fortune. I'm blessed to just be able to give to other people what it is that I've learned and watch their lives change. Right? We communicate with real people every day with real dreams, real families, real fears, real needs. Or when somebody posts a picture online of something that they just bought their spouse, a MacBook Pro, or even cars, or we see somebody that is moving into a new home, or maybe their first home that they've never owned before. And I just know, man, that we're changing lives. There's just something, man, about seeing other people soar that juices me up.